everyone, I am Tacet, and today I'm going to be going over the Shadows over Krystara event in which Shadowblade is added into the game. One other thing to note is that the new Mythic of Jartnar Storm Shield will only be around for about another day or so. Normally it has a timer here, so I figured I'd announce it because it doesn't. By Friday at 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, he will not be in the drop pool anymore, and then all the mythics will be. Well, he'll still be in the drop pool, but right now he's the only mythic currently in the drop pool. So if you do want to get him, make sure to get him within the next day or so. Anyways, let's get into showing these teams and everything else with the new Shadowblade troop. So first thing we'll do, of course, have to go and see the troop, and a slightly decent one. As far as elves are concerned, he's actually not that bad. He is on a 50% bonus this week, so it's a little bit hard to tell how efficient he would actually be on a normal week. But with that 50%, he definitely has his purpose. He deals random damage, or deals true damage to a random enemy, and if there are 13 or more purples on the board, he gains all 9 of that mana back. Pretty useful, because as long as there are 13 or more purple gems on the board, you could essentially cast his ability every single turn as long as he doesn't get drained, and as long as the board doesn't get manipulated in a way that it goes below 13. So quite a bit of usage in that. It also has Divine Slayer, which makes it work pretty well with the Crimson Bat, since both of them have Divine Slayers. And it has the Stealthy Agile combo. Quite a few troops have this. It's actually a pretty decent combo because it's resistant somewhat against skulls and abilities. As far as traits are concerned, this is actually one of the better combinations other than having things like Stone Skin, Impervious, or Empowered. So really good to have. Anyways, as far as blue-purple things that you'd want to trait, you would definitely want to get up your Queen Mab if you don't already have it up. That would be very, very, very useful to do with that. Other than that, you'd probably want to even trait him because if you're going with some kind of true damage build, you would definitely want to make sure you actually went with all of his traits. He's one of the few events that have happened recently that he's actually really viable, fully traded. But anyways, let's get now into these teams. Mainly just going to be doing 2 true damage oriented teams going to be showing right now. So let's get into those as well. Also, one thing, while it's not that big of a bonus, you do get 1 map every single time you win a PvP battle with them. Out of every single bonus they have ever done, this is actually the lowest bonus ever, because 1 treasure map really isn't that valuable under any context compared to the other rewards that they were given. So don't really feel too obligated to use him in a PvP team this week, as he's not particularly going to be helping you much in that regard. Just giving you an extra map every battle is not going to be that profitable. And okay, all giant beasts. Well, we'll go to the other one. Okay, a single, gosh, I guess we have to go with these spiders then. So let's go with these spiders, and well, actually this will show how good he can loop. But let's go with the all shadowy one. This is literally every single thing with shadow in the game, as well as a giant spider in there, mainly so we can get that purple generation. Giant spider is the best troop in the game currently for purple generation. But we have a mirror with the shadow blades, we have the shadow dragon, and we have him who's called Shadowblade. I'm surprised because they're both almost named exactly the same, which is kind of funny. But they do work pretty well together. They're both rogues. They both do true damage, and the combination of them is pretty fun to use, because if you can actually get the random hit on one of them, you can then use the mirror for the cleanup, and it works pretty efficiently. So we'll just try getting Giant Spider up first. That is one of our main priorities, since it will be giving us a great deal of purple mana that we not only need to actually cast our abilities, but we're also going to be needing it in order to fill up everything, or I mean for him to keep spamming his ability. So we'll throw that on the green right here. That'll start getting a mirror. You can see she too has the agile with the stealthy combo. It is pretty effective. So we'll go for that. Of course, you don't want to put your whole team with it, or else it won't have anything to target. When your whole entire team only has Stealthy left, Stealthy has no effect, so do keep that in mind. Hopefully we'll be able to get a Shadow Dragon off right here. It doesn't look like we'll get alignment though, and I might hold if we don't, because he'll get a little bit right there, though he does not actually use the color, so it might just be better for us to just throw it right here. So we'll be able to get the poisons as well, and poison will be pretty helpful since everything that we are casting is true damage, so that will help us to be able to lower their HP so they're closer to a one-shot range. So we'll just let the spiders do their thing until they roll back around. I believe we actually have enough to kill right here. No, we do not. 46. That, unfortunately, is not enough. We'll still throw it, though. If one more skull afterwards, we'll definitely be able to get that last little poke. Looks like our mirror is about to die pretty soon, unfortunately. It is about to create a bunch of purples, so hopefully that will help us. Doesn't really matter too much which color he does it on. He'll probably do it on brown, though. It looks like there's the most brown on the board, and it would give him an extra turn. He goes for the yellow, surprisingly, which is still an extra turn. There was only like 2 yellows on the board, and he manages to get an extra turn out of one of them. But we'll get a mirror back up. I do want to do the Shadow Dragon again. I kind of want to wait until we get that poke off. Agile, go. Nope, didn't get that, but we'll just get our other manas. And now we have him going, which, unless we can actually get the board a little bit more purpled, we won't be able to get him really going. But it actually doesn't matter that we put him into the back, because once he gets going with his team, there'll be enough purple on the board that he can just keep going, so it doesn't really matter. Even if you use the first 2 in front of him, as long as there's still him with his ability and 13 purples on the board, he'll be fine. So like right here, even though we're not getting any mana out of it, I will be using that. It'll give us a little bit of a tank, which if we weren't up against a team like this would actually be viable. Could actually throw in a Shadow Dragon right there, probably should have. But now I believe there's enough purple that we can start throwing blades, and there is. So this is the main premise of him, me not taking the green right there, but the main premise, of course, just being that you are able to spam his ability literally every turn as long as you can keep that board really populated with those purples. So yeah, he'll go for a skull right there. He'll just hit our tank. Fortunately, he does have full mana. Wish we could somehow kill that out, but it doesn't look like we're going to be able to. Looks like I missed another move right there, but he'll just take the purple. Not much we really need to worry about in that regard. Mainly the summonings are going to be annoying, so hopefully we'll be able to destroy them all at once, and we won't have to worry about that summoning. If nothing else, this is really good farming for the beast thing, because they are summoning like crazy, and we are feeding them pretty well as well. I was trying to do this earlier to try to farm a bunch of beasts, and it wasn't working out that well, and now when I'm trying to do an actual battle, I'm unintentionally making it work well, so that's interesting. But we'll just keep throwing the blade. Looks like about 13 purple. Not really going to count it out because it's not too big a deal if it's not. Getting another beast kill, he'll put more purple on the board, and we can just keep looping. So if nothing else, we are getting plenty of beast kills for the objective this week, which I still haven't bothered to complete. He will be removing a lot of purple off the board from doing that, unfortunately. But for now, we'll just throw our ability, get our blade right back up, and just keep spamming it out. I'm pretty sure on a 50% reduction, he will be a lot less viable because you won't have as much damage as he's actually doing this week. So we'll throw another blade. I don't think that's 13. Doesn't matter too much, though. We can just use our giant spider the following turn. And I'm trying to use Shadow Dragon, but again, don't really have the alignment to be able to do so. Actually, we don't even have the alignment to do giant spider. So we may just do the Shadow Dragon. Might end up giving him a little bit, but it doesn't matter too much because he won't be able to use it. Okay, he'll go for the purple, get a little bit bigger, and we'll just keep poking them. I do want to make sure, if we can, to try to get rid of the blues and or greens from the board, because we do not want him having those, or else he's just going to keep making spiders over and over again. And while it would be good to actually farm those stones, his team isn't really set up to extremely farm them off these, because they don't actually have any kind of quick kill. So we do just want to get rid of them. But yeah, you just keep poking them down and go from there. Let's see, what can we do here? Still can't really do much. Just to make sure we have the guaranteed kill, I'll do that. We could have taken the skulls as well, but I want to be able to, he was regardless going to die the following turn to following skull, so I just want to get a fresh spider there if we really need it. So we'll just take a little bit of mana. Shadow Dragon, I'll probably just wait until we get alignment. Still don't have enough on the board to really be able to do anything with the Shadowblade. We'll take the skull right here. That one we'll take. Didn't end up giving him one. Luckily, it's not his spider that's up. It's the other one. Though, actually, we did because of the fall. And that will fall off. Yeah, we won't be able to get the extra turn there. Lower that down, and we'll be able to take it there. So we'll throw that down. Hopefully, that hits the spider. Good. And now, can we randomly hit it again? Or we could just go for the skull and play it safe. Normally, Darkfall... I could have probably taken the brown first. But normally, Darkfall doesn't really have a purpose. But it's kind of funny. We're looping so many purple that's actually doing a little bit of an effect here. Still, Darkfall actually is pretty weak. It doesn't really synergize with any of his other traits or his ability. This gains one attack every single time you match purple. You really do not need Shadow Dragon fully traded. You rarely rarely ever use Darkfall. That one kill right there was probably the only instance I have ever used Darkfall. So you really don't need it. It doesn't really help you with much. And there you can see he's still, even after all that, has his ability. We get 6 event gems. Could have probably farmed it for a little bit more, but of course that would take a little bit long with the team that we were currently using. Because we'd probably want to use something like a skull spam or something if we were to do it against giant spiders that would keep looping. But anyways, this annoying team. Let's see. Do we bother doing a Bone Dragon Famine Double Courage? I almost feel like skipping that one or trying this other one. We'll try this one. This one's going to be a little bit less annoying to us. Don't want to have to deal with a Bone Dragon right now. So first thing we'll want to do is use our Soothsayer on Empowered. That'll help getting this team going. Soothsayer, Valkyrie, Crimson Bat used to be used a lot back in the day. Don't see too much uses of it these days, but it's still a pretty decent combo. And we'll be using that extra magic. Primarily, we're barely even using this for anything else. We're mainly using this for getting up our Shadowblade so we can keep spamming them with a lot of damage, because that will help get his magic up. And once we get him looping pretty well, that will be really, really good amounts of damage. And of course, the Crimson Bat will end up racking up quite a bit as well. Unfortunately, he does have a Mercy, so he is going to be able to negate some of our mana whenever he wishes. But we'll just use Valkyrie, clear up some of the board. I might actually use it on his yellow, just because it's so much on the board. It'll clear up more of the board so we can actually start getting purples on it, or more purples than there currently are. The main premise of this team, which we might not be able to fully utilize due to that Mercy being all annoying, is just keep using Valkyrie on anything that is not purple, and eventually you would just naturally have enough purple on the board that you would be able to get the extra turns off it. If not, we could just keep spamming the Crimson Bat and it won't really matter. We're mainly using the Shadowblade this time as a pick-off, not as our main source of damage. Using him as a main source of damage, as you saw in the previous video, can be a little bit slow, especially after this week when he doesn't have the 50%. He's more of a kill-off troop than using him for your only damage source. Unless you were using him for Divine Slayer, that would be about the only instance you would use him purely as a damage source. But figured we'd try it. Definitely with the 50% could be viable, but without it, it would probably be way, 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 way too slow. So we'll just use this on the green. Trying to make sure Mercy gets as little mana as possible, and as long as she can't take green, she won't really be able to do anything for the rest of this match. We'll throw that down. And now we can just use the Shadowblade for the pickoffs. Unfortunately, at this moment, mainly because of the Mercy, we do not have 13 on the board, but that will kill whatever it hits. And then all we have left to kill is a Mercy. Yeah. You could change up this order some too if you really wanted to, like if you wanted higher damage. Of course, we're actually putting 2 things with Divine Slayer. Both of them do have Divine Slayer, and they're kind of all the way just hanging out in the back. You could put them more up front if you really wanted to. If you wanted to counter out Divines. Of course, there'd be no point to putting them up front if they weren't actually Divines, though, since it will only do the 2 times damage against Divines. But we'll just get this Valkyrie off, and that should be matched. Of course, another thing that the Soothsayer is doing is increasing the amount of souls we get per Valkyrie cast. So if your Valkyrie happens to have a lower soul gain, you'd probably be able to gain the max capacity. And we are 1 damage off. Gosh, so we are going to have to take a skull first. See if we can get one for free. No, we cannot. So we'll just do that. He'll take his skull or her skull, and then we'll just do another skull. We could just do the Crimson Bat, but hey, there's already a skull, might as well. And a free extra turn. Go, Shadowblade. Actually, look, right when we win, of course now there's enough purple on the board that we actually could have done it. But anyways, that is the Shadowblade troop. Agile plus the Stealthy is a pretty good combo. Divine Slayer probably won't be using much, but of course you can utilize that if anyone ever starts doing like all White Helm teams. I see it very occasionally. More towards mid-game, you might see it with the Grand Krystara. Other than that, you mainly use Shadowblade as a pick-off true damager with other true damage supports. On his own, he can't really function as the only damage source. This week he kind of can, but other than that, you'd probably want to put him with either an Emperor Corvash, a Crimson Bat, or really anything that can do true damage to at least 2 troops or more. But anyways, that'll wrap it up for this video. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to leave in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.